Family life in America during the 1970s had a rhythm and depth that many today rarely experience. Unlike the hurried, fragmented routines of modern life, households then were structured around shared time, shared meals, and shared responsibility. Parents, though busy, often had work schedules that allowed them to come home at predictable hours, ensuring that evenings were reserved for family. There was a natural cadence to the day. Dinner was a communal event, homework happened at the kitchen table, and stories were exchanged across generations. This consistency created stability, where children knew what to expect and where adults were present not just physically, but emotionally and socially. The concept of family extended beyond the nuclear unit, often including neighbors, extended relatives, and family friends, creating a broader support system that reinforced a sense of belonging and interdependence. One of the primary reasons families felt closer was the intentional design of daily life. There were fewer distractions like multiple televisions, streaming services, or smartphones demanding attention at all hours. Even the television that existed was communal, often watched together in the living room, generating shared experiences and conversation. Household chores were collective responsibilities rather than segregated tasks, and children learned early that contributing to the home was part of being a valued member of the family. This shared effort and interaction fostered cooperation, empathy, and communication skills that would last a lifetime. Unlike today, where convenience often substitutes for engagement, the lifestyle of the 1970s demanded participation, which strengthened the bonds between family members and created an enduring sense of loyalty and connection. Chapter 1: Shared Meals and Conversation. The dinner table was the centerpiece of family interaction. Families often ate together, and meals were an occasion for conversation, debate, and connection. Unlike today, where family members might eat in front of screens or at staggered times, in the 1970s, sitting down together was almost sacred. Discussions ranged from school and work to current events and personal concerns, and children were encouraged to voice their opinions. This open communication nurtured critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and a sense of being heard and valued. Parents used these moments to impart life lessons, instill values, and model respectful dialogue, all without the interference of technology or constant outside stimulation. Meal preparation was also a collaborative activity. Parents and children often cooked together, whether it was simple weeknight dinners or more elaborate Sunday meals. Learning to prepare food was not only practical, but also a bonding experience. Children felt a sense of accomplishment and contribution, and the act of working together reinforced cooperation and patience. These shared tasks went beyond nutrition. They were opportunities for teaching responsibility, celebrating accomplishments, and sharing laughter. The kitchen and dining room became informal classrooms of life skills, emotional intelligence, and family culture. Chapter 2: Predictable Routines and Stability. In the 1970s, family life thrived on predictability. Parents' work schedules often adhered to traditional hours, providing consistency for evenings and weekends. Children could rely on daily routines, homework after school, dinner at a set time, bedtime rituals, that created a secure environment. This predictability reduced stress and anxiety, helping children feel safe and supported. It also gave families a shared rhythm where each member knew their responsibilities and their place in the household. Weekends were dedicated to family activities rather than individual pursuits or digital entertainment. Trips to local parks, drives to visit relatives, or simply board games in the living room structured leisure time around interaction and connection. This consistency reinforced interdependence and fostered deeper relationships. Children were not just passive observers of adult life, but active participants, understanding the ebb and flow of the household and learning the value of reliability, planning, and mutual support. These routines embedded a sense of stability that contributed to trust, resilience, and emotional well-being within the family unit. Chapter 3: Community Involvement and Extended Networks. Families in the 1970s rarely existed in isolation. Neighbors, friends, and extended relatives were integrated into daily life, creating a network of support and oversight. Block parties, church gatherings, school events, and local clubs connected families to their communities, providing shared experiences and reinforcing social norms. Children grew up knowing more than just their immediate household. They understood their place within a wider social fabric. learning empathy, respect, and collaboration from a young age. Community engagement also meant shared responsibility. Parents often collaborated to supervise neighborhood children, organize activities, or provide mutual aid. This created a sense of collective guardianship, where children could explore and socialize with a degree of freedom while still being safe. These networks nurtured values of cooperation, trust, and accountability that extended beyond the family home. In addition, informal mentorships developed naturally, with older neighbors and family friends guiding younger generations, enriching the educational and social development of children in ways formal institutions often could not. Chapter 4. Less media, more interaction. One of the critical factors that strengthened family bonds in the 1970s was the relative scarcity of distracting media. Television existed, but channels were limited, and programming was often scheduled in a way that families watched together. There were no smartphones, tablets, or on-demand entertainment competing for attention. This scarcity made shared viewing a communal experience, generating discussion, laughter, and debate about shows, news, and events. Families engaged in each other's lives more fully, unimpeded by the constant pull of personal screens. Reading, storytelling, and board games were common alternatives to passive media consumption. Children learned to entertain themselves and each other, creating imaginative scenarios and games that involved the whole family. Parents participated actively, contributing stories, advice, and humor. This environment cultivated creativity, communication skills, and emotional intelligence. With fewer distractions, families invested in the most valuable resource available: time with each other. These interactions were not fleeting, they were deeply embedded in the daily rhythm of life, creating lasting memories and a profound sense of belonging. Chapter 5. Shared responsibilities and work ethic. Families in the 1970s instilled a strong sense of responsibility through shared household duties. Children were expected to contribute to cleaning, cooking, and general upkeep, not as punishment, but as an integral part of daily life. This participation taught them practical skills and created a tangible sense of contribution to the family unit. Unlike today, where convenience often replaces engagement, every member of the household had a role. Parents modeled diligence and accountability, showing that the home functioned best when everyone worked together. These shared responsibilities built teamwork, patience, and pride in accomplishing tasks collectively. Beyond chores, children also learned responsibility through small errands, babysitting younger siblings, or assisting neighbors. These activities extended the learning beyond the home and reinforced independence within the framework of family support. Completing tasks successfully gave children confidence and demonstrated the importance of reliability. Parents often celebrated these contributions, linking effort to recognition and fostering a sense of personal achievement intertwined with family loyalty. These lessons in work ethic and accountability became deeply ingrained, shaping character and social behavior for life. Chapter 6. Unstructured play and freedom. Childhood in the 1970s involved significant unstructured time, which created opportunities for natural bonding between parents and children. Unlike today's heavily scheduled lives, kids had the freedom to explore, play outdoors, and engage in imaginative activities. Parents encouraged outdoor play, often accompanying children on bike rides, nature walks, or simple backyard adventures. These experiences were not just recreational, they allowed families to connect in meaningful ways while fostering creativity, problem-solving, and communication. The shared adventures generated stories, inside jokes, and experiences that became the fabric of family memory. Freedom also extended to decision-making within the household. Children were allowed to make choices, such as planning a small family event, organizing a game, or deciding the evening's entertainment. These decisions provided lessons in negotiation, compromise, and leadership, often guided subtly by parents. Parents participated but rarely imposed strict oversight, creating a balance between autonomy and guidance. This approach fostered respect, trust, and a sense of empowerment in children while reinforcing the family as a collaborative unit. Families were not just cohabiting, they were actively learning, growing, and experiencing life together, building deeper emotional connections that lasted long after childhood ended. Chapter 7. Family meals beyond nutrition. While meals were a central chapter in family life, the 1970s emphasized more than just eating. They were opportunities for bonding, reflection, and emotional learning. Families gathered for breakfast, lunch, and especially dinner, sharing not only food but thoughts, accomplishments, and concerns. Parents asked questions about school, friends, and personal feelings, creating a safe environment for children to express themselves. This dialogue nurtured emotional literacy, active listening, and problem-solving, all within the context of family support. Meals were also times for traditions and cultural reinforcement, whether it was celebrating holidays, teaching recipes passed down through generations, or simply recounting daily highlights. Additionally, meal preparation itself became a form of interaction. Cooking together allowed parents to teach patience, planning, and the value of effort while enjoying light-hearted conversation and humor. Children gained skills, a sense of competence, and an understanding of family heritage. The time spent together in the kitchen and at the table was an informal curriculum in life skills, communication, and cultural identity. These shared experiences made food more than sustenance. It became a medium for connection, memory-making, and intergenerational bonding. Chapter 8: Weekend Rituals and Family Leisure. Weekends in the 1970s were deliberately structured around family cohesion. Unlike today, where extracurriculars and digital distractions fragment time, weekends were often reserved for outings, hobbies, and collective projects. Families went on picnics, attended local events, or engaged in home improvement projects together. These shared experiences reinforced collaboration, problem-solving, and mutual appreciation. Children participated in planning and execution, learning negotiation, and decision-making within a safe, supportive framework. The shared leisure created long-lasting memories and a sense of identity tied to family tradition and experience. Even simple routines like Sunday drives or backyard barbecues served as bonding mechanisms. Parents and children explored local neighborhoods, parks, and cultural attractions, building knowledge of their environment while enjoying each other's company. These activities encouraged curiosity, physical activity, and conversation, further cementing the family as a cohesive, interactive unit. Time was intentionally allocated for shared enjoyment, ensuring that family members connected emotionally and socially. This emphasis on shared leisure contributed to a culture of closeness, trust, and engagement that defined 1970s family life and left a lasting impact on those who grew up during that era. Chapter 9: Community Integration and Extended Family Networks. In the 1970s, families were rarely isolated units. They were deeply connected to their extended family and local community. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins often lived nearby or participated actively in daily life. This extended network provided additional support, guidance, and emotional stability. Children benefited from multiple role models, and parents could rely on relatives for childcare, advice, and shared responsibilities. Community gatherings, church events, and neighborhood parties created natural environments for these relationships to flourish, fostering a sense of belonging beyond the immediate household. These interactions extended lessons in social responsibility, empathy, and cooperation. Children learned to navigate relationships with adults outside their nuclear family, balancing respect with independence. Parents also benefited from these networks, finding camaraderie, practical support, and shared values. The integration of family into the broader community created resilience, reducing stress and reinforcing the importance of interdependence. This social fabric strengthened emotional bonds and provided a safety net, enhancing both family cohesion and community stability. Chapter 10: Communication Styles and Emotional Openness. Families in the 1970s often valued direct, face-to-face communication. Without smartphones, social media, or constant digital distractions, conversations happened in real time, fostering attentiveness and emotional presence. Parents encouraged children to express their thoughts and feelings during mealtime, while evenings might include storytelling, sharing experiences, or discussing current events. This practice developed emotional intelligence, active listening, and conflict resolution skills organically within the family context. Beyond daily conversations, parents modeled problem-solving and emotional regulation. Challenges and disagreements were addressed in person, teaching children negotiation and empathy skills. The shared attention and presence nurtured trust, understanding, and mutual respect. making the family unit a primary source of emotional support. These communication habits ensured that children grew up with confidence, a sense of security, and the ability to articulate their needs and understand others' perspectives, a foundation that technology-driven households today often struggle to replicate. Chapter 11. Cultural traditions and rituals. Maintaining cultural, religious, or personal family traditions was central to the closeness experienced in 1970s American households. Families celebrated holidays with meaningful rituals, passed down recipes, and observed local or cultural customs that created rhythm and predictability in life. These practices anchored children in a sense of identity, history, and belonging. Participation in traditions reinforced values, strengthened intergenerational ties, and created shared memories that became integral to family identity. Rituals extended beyond formal celebrations. Even simple weekend routines, movie nights, or seasonal activities carried symbolic meaning and created shared expectations. These repeated practices provided comfort, security, and structure, ensuring that family members felt connected to each other and to their heritage. Over time, these rituals acted as touchstones for familial bonds, teaching continuity, respect for the past, and appreciation for collective experience. They reinforced the idea that family was not just a physical space, but a living culture nurtured daily through shared practice. Chapter 12. The lasting impact of 1970s. Family life. The closeness experienced by American families in the 1970s left a profound and lasting impression on those who grew up during that era. Children learned independence within the framework of support, understood responsibility and shared labor, and developed deep interpersonal skills through community integration and unstructured play. The combination of communication, shared meals, leisure, traditions, and extended family involvement created a sense of stability and resilience that shaped emotional, social, and practical development for life. These lessons extended far beyond childhood, influencing adult relationships, parenting styles, and approaches to work and community. Many who grew up in this environment report stronger family bonds, greater empathy, and a heightened sense of loyalty and commitment in their own households. The evidence from the era underscores the profound impact of intentional family practices, strong community networks, and immersive shared experiences. The legacy of 1970s family life reminds us that closeness was cultivated deliberately through time, attention, and shared values, something that can be learned, applied, and cherished even in modern life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into how families maintained closeness in the 1970s, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more stories exploring history and lifestyle. Share your thoughts in the comments. What family tradition or experience from the past do you wish was still common today?